Welcome to our channel Live a new life every day. AITA for calling my fiancée selfish for wanting to announce her pregnancy at her cousin's wedding. My fiancée, 29, and I, 31, just found out that we're pregnant. My fiancée mentioned that she wanted to wait to announce it at her cousin's wedding, which will be taking place on Sunday. Her cousin and her husband has been struggling getting pregnant even with IVF or the tons of others. Recently they just got some news that their insurance has stopped funding IVF, and not to mention the heartbreak of a recent miscarriage on Mother's Day. They almost understandably held off on the wedding. So when my fiancé brought it up to me, I told her it's not at all a good idea. This just seems so wrong, especially it being at their wedding. I asked if she was gonna at least ask her cousin for permission, and she said no because she wanted it to be a surprise for everyone. I told her it's not the time nor the place for that, and it would take the spotlight off the couple. In her family there hasn't been a baby in 3 years, so we'd be the first in that time. Fiancé feels that's the perfect time because it's such a joy, and it's not like she can keep it away forever, and their problems shouldn't keep her from telling something so positive, so it's on them if they turn it negative. I told her that's not the point. She knows what they've been through, and she's being selfish if she actually goes through with that. She cried and claimed I wasn't being supportive and I shouldn't be calling my pregnant fiancé selfish. She doesn't want me to come with her to the wedding anymore either, feeling as if I would kill the mood. She hasn't been talking to me either. So about my fiancé and her cousin's relationship. My fiancé always saw competition in her cousin because her cousin would be better at some things than her. Grades, dancing, cosmetics, etc., since they were kids, and she hates that. Last year they had an argument about it because fiancé felt her cousin bragged too much, whereas my fiancé also mentioned there was one thing her cousin wasn't good at, but never said what it was. So in shorter terms the relationship is in between good and bad, but her cousin wanted to invite her to the wedding, I'm guessing to rekindle that. If anyone is reading this, update coming soon. Just been going through some stuff. Sorry for the long wait. Currently waiting for it to be approved. Update. Sorry for the long wait as I have been going through some things, me and my fiancé breaking up, work, death of my grandfather, etc. So I didn't expect to get a bunch of replies to my post. But a lot of them were helpful. My ex was determined to go to the wedding, despite my protests, and even planned out how she was going to be refusing alcohol when offered. I did tell my ex's parents about what she was planning on doing. I didn't want to tell the groom or bride because I wouldn't know how to put it in words that would make the whole situation any less awful. Ex's parents did end up telling the bride's parents, and then they told the bride. The bride was so upset that she, unfortunately, called off the wedding. Everyone wanted her to continue it and invite my ex for a couple of plans guests thought of. When my ex announced it, everyone would just stay nonchalant and not give her the excited reaction she was hoping for, and the classic just don't invite her plan. The bride was just understandably wanted to be left alone, and she just texted my fiancé a very long paragraph telling her what a horrible person she was. She just decided not to do the wedding anymore, and her fiancé was very heartbroken, but all in all, they were both grateful to me. My ex instantly knew that I was the cause of all of this, and she was furious at me, even more, because I posted about it here, but also said a pretty sick thing about how she still pretty much won anyways. I just decided to break up with her myself after that. Some of her family members are kinda upset with me, as they believed I just caused a bunch of drama. Now I'm currently in the works of talking to an attorney, as my ex told me I will not be seeing the baby after they're born. So all that on top of grief, working, breakup, being called a mess starter by some of her family, and still feeling like shit because either way the bride and groom were heartbroken. It's just putting a bunch of anxiety and stress on me, lol. Anyways, here is the long-awaited update. Any questions? I'll answer. Edit. So they were pretty much already contemplating on canceling the wedding. Family members did stress her out over her miscarriage and canceling. Her fiancé's family were excessive about she couldn't carry a baby to full term like a real woman. Not to mention her own family went around spreading her miscarriage like wildfire, which is how my ex and I found out. They told it to coworkers even. It's not the first time my ex has also interrupted her cousin's big events. When turning 17, my ex cake smashed her, which wasn't fun for her cousin. Their first pregnancy announcement, which was the miscarriage, was ruined because my ex blurted the news out, but her cousin's told to get over that because it was a miscarriage anyways, so she's told by family members. This is what I was told when asking her fiancé. So she's been at a breaking point for a while. She was considering just still continuing the wedding but wanted to be left alone. They didn't call off the wedding permanently, just until the bride has cooled herself down. Comment 1. OMG, op, you did the right thing, which very often is also the hard thing. It's not very comforting, but it's something. It's really unfortunate that you didn't find out about your ex before you tied yourself to her with a child, because she is not going to make it easy. Keep doing the right thing, and good luck with the forthcoming munchkin. They're amazing at refocusing your priorities. Comment 2. How sad for her cousin. I hate that she let your horrible ex ruin what should have been a special day. Honestly, the fact that your ex says she won anyway shows that it was never actually about wanting to announce the pregnancy, just about hurting her cousin for some reason. Don't back down fighting for your rights to your child. I'm very concerned about a person like that having sole custody over a living, breathing human being. Comment 3. Wow, I can't believe what I just read. I've seen other posts about baby news ruining another person's even, but always gave benefit of the doubt that the pregnancy excitement clouded judgment in the moment. Not here. The ex full-on planned to overtake the event and fully make it about her. The poor cousin and her finance. Like, share your comments and subscribe. Story 2. AITA for having my son miss his graduating road trip to watch his sibling. My son just graduated high school and we were paying so he could go on a road trip with his friends. He was supposed to go Wednesday. My wife's mother and father got in a car accident. They live in another state, so we had to drive about 4 hours. My wife was a wreck and wasn't in the position to drive since her dad was critical. He pulled through luckily. We have 2 other kids, 11 and 7. We can't leave them at home alone, and we couldn't find a sitter to watch them on such short notice. We even tried our neighbors, but he couldn't do it. So that left our 18-year-old. He was pissed, to put it mildly, but did it. I told him we would make it up to him, and if he could ask if his friend could move it back a week. They couldn't, sadly. We were gone for 2 days, he pulled though. My wife stayed and I headed back. I paid him for watching the kids and went to talk to him about getting him on the trip. It was supposed to be 2 weeks and they should just be a stayed over. He blows up about ruining his trip, and there is no point going even though it should still 12 days of the trip. He called up a jerk and locked himself in his room. I need another opinion since this was emergency and he doesn't seem to care. His grandparents almost passed. Edit. Well, he called his mom. Let's say it didn't end well. He did say, basically said the same thing he said to me. Wife had a breakdown on the phone with him. She sent him the injuries and pictures of grandpa/grandma. He finally came out of his room and told me he isn't going to go on the trip and the plane tickets aren't needed. Talked to my wife, never heard her that mad. Son confirmed what happened. He started yelling at her the moment the call started and she lost her shit when he called her selfish. On good news, grandpa has some feeling back in his legs, which was a huge concern. 4 people saying we didn't have emergency plan. We do. First, my closest friend, vacation, main babysitter, not available, backup babysitter, not available, last resort grandparents, hospital. We tried to find someone that why we even asked our neighbor which I have a good relationship with. This will be my last update, had a conversation with my son about everything. Mom and him will have a conversation when she calms down. His friends are not a state over, they are about 2 down at this point and going to Mexico. They are probably will get to the border tonight, they were supposed to be going to California. He had his passport and everything ready. This is a fucking mess. I haven't informed my wife yet and will wait until she is calmer. I'll leave off with I hope none of you ever have to deal with a situation like this and please remember your parents are human. Comment 1. Honestly, white gay. I don't understand why you couldn't take your kids, it's their grandparents who were in critical condition after all. And what would have happened if he already left? Comment 2. So we're just disregarding the fact that OP's wife probably needed support and help from him as well. It literally says in the post that she was a wreck, which no one can blame her for because both her parents were in a car accident and were injured even if it was just her dad who was in critical condition. I think being there for your spouse in an emergency situation like this trumps missing a couple days of a 2-week-long vacation, and OP did try to ensure his son still got his trip. Edit to add and yay.